Okay, in this video we're going to look at some of the rules pertaining to how we stress the certain syllables of a word and how accents are applied, if at all, in a word in Spanish. Okay. So you probably have a pretty good sense of how to pronounce words in Spanish, even if the rules haven't been explicitly explained to you. But here we go. Basically, you've got one of two scenarios. A word can end with a vowel, una vocal, N o S. And in that case, we emphasize or stress the next to last syllable, or if we want to use a nice SAT word, the penultimate syllable, la penúltima sílaba. All right, so what if a word ends with a letter that isn't a vowel N or S? So basically most consonants, exception of N or S, we stress the last syllable. So those are rules 1 and 2. Well, let's look down here at rules 1 and 2. On this first line, casa, regalo, comen, chance, acento, navegas, they all end with a vowel, or in the case of comen and navegas, an N or an S. And look which is bolded, the second to last syllable. Casa, regalo, comen, chance, acento. It's not acento, it's acento. Navegar becomes navegas. Okay? What about the words that end with any other consonant? Seguridad, papel, reloj, tomar, corregir. They all end with a consonant, right? Let's look at seguridad. It's not seguridad, it's not seguridad, it's not seguridad, it's seguridad. Right? So that is rules 1 and 2 and how most words are stressed in Spanish. There are some exceptions just because they sound different and they sound better with a different one stressed. So we have to override that first rule or that second rule. And we do that with an accent. Árbol, difícil, fácil, sótano, temporáneo. Just as some examples. You might think of the word Saturday, right? Sábado, right? Normally, without an accent, it would be pronounced sabado because it ends with a vowel. So its second to last syllable is ba. But sabado doesn't sound right, at least not to enough Spanish speakers who were first saying that. And so they started saying sábado, and it became the norm. And so to make sure we're spelling it correctly, we accent that sa, S-A syllable. Right? Cool. But as you may remember, there's also another use for an accent, and this isn't really a pronunciation thing. It's more like, hey, this is the other use of an accent, and that is to distinguish the meaning of one word from another. For example, we've seen de, the preposition of or from, or de, meaning give, as an usted command. Se, meaning himself, herself, yourself, formal, themselves, yourselves, or say, meaning I know, etc. They're pronounced the same. It is merely just so you're aware, there's the two uses of accents. This is mostly right now dealing with pronunciation. So I want you to tackle these 30 words, take a look at them. If there's an accent, you're probably going to use either rule 3 or 4. So like if we look at number 8, público. It says put a circle to indicate the accented syllable. So público, and the rule is because that came from rule number 3. It's an exception to rules 1 and 2 about it being and how it ends. But if we let's look at number 1 and number 3. manejo, right? It ends with a vowel. There's no accent, so the second to last syllable is ne. Manejo, I drive. And that's rule number 1. Now, if there had been an accent like manejo, we'd be following rule number 3, probably to say, nope, stress it this way. Maybe if we were using the preterite, for example. Right? Practicar. Is it practicar? Is it practicar? Or is it practicar? It's practicar because it ends with a consonant that isn't N or S. And that's rule number 2. So I want you to try these real quick just to get a feel for it. And here's a secret. Everything we just saw is explained in English here with an answer key below. But I want you to try these on your own, at least the first 2 columns, just so you get a feel for it. This is really important when it comes to using commands with pronouns. All right? So I'll see you over in that video.